All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Alpine amp extravaganza. We got two of the amplifiers there, another two of the four channel and the 2 channel up there, and then here is the 2 mono blocks. If you guys haven't seen me use this before, this is the audio controlled DM-RTA software. Here is the hardware. This allows me to send a signal out. I can do a sine wave, pink noise, or even square. I don't ever run square, but RCA's out, 2, and then I have splitters on here so that I can send signal into all 4 channels. Obviously, we have the power connected. Here are the leads that I'm going to hook up to each channel. And then over here is the leads for my oscilloscope, so I can see the sine wave of the higher frequencies. And then here is my oscilloscope. So you don't necessarily have to have this, the audio control software to do this, but it really does make it a lot easier. You can observe, and you're constantly going to have to adjust your oscilloscope to be able to see the frequencies and everything. And if you had a pair of speakers that have can play a full range, and you know what you're listening for, you could do this with music also. But this is the particular way how I test amplifiers when I have them. Typically, I'm not testing 6 of them at a time. So let me go ahead and get you put up on a tripod, and we will go ahead and we will start testing this stuff out. All right, power is on, and I am actually going to bring my oscilloscope over here so that you guys can see this one a little better when we get to working on things. So I'm just going to kind of go through this stuff and show you. I'm going to pick a channel, and I'm just going to start there. All right, so here. Now, on these amplifiers that I did do, I turned the gains all the way down. The gains do not need to be all the way up, even though we will check the gains as we go up and down. The HP filters are off. The high pass filters are off. The low pass filters are off. So right now we're just kind of going straight through, and the input selector for the channel is working there good too. So let's go ahead and close this down for now, and I'm going to show you guys what we got going on. Now, first thing I'll do is come over here to pink noise. All right, and go to RTA, and we're gonna slow that down. There we go. All right. So as we can see here, I have the pink noise going in. It's a little erratic, but that's fine. What you're looking for when you're testing these out is the roll-offs, typically in a higher frequency range. You'll see these start to roll off if caps and things are bad. This bouncing around is just because the lower frequency has more energy. So we're going to go through and we're going to check that on every channel. So that's channel 1, 2. Or sorry, that was channel 1. This should be channel 2. All right, and we can see frequency looks good. Okay, channel 3. And then channel 4. Now, another thing that I like to do is come over here. We'll bring this down, and we will come over to a 40 hertz sine wave. There we go, 40 hertz. So this is one channel, and I'm just going to kind of work through all of these, right? So, and I'll just take this and slide this up, and this, what it's doing is just working through the frequency range. Okay, if I jump, you'll see it. we're just going through and just making sure that everything is kind of approaching that same height. Now, if you jump a little too fast, you'll see jumps in the screen. I'm used to that. But as you can see, everything is working up to that 0 dB, the darker blue line. Okay, as I go across, it's a little low down here, but that's fine. If I crank the energy up, I can get it up. The higher your frequency goes up, the more like you don't need that. Your wattage kind of rolls off anyway. So let's go to a 1 kilohertz test tone. All right, we see our 1 kilohertz there. I'll go over to oscilloscope and just get to looking at that, making sure things look good there. And as you can see, we're good there. Now the gains on that channel is all the way down. So I am just gonna roll it up just to observe how things are, making sure nothing is clipping super early or looking bad. And that is looking excellent, y'all. All right, and then you can see right about there, even when I bring that down, right about there is where I start clipping. So bring that down some. We can also come over here to our other oscilloscope and put the eyeballs on that. And I hope you guys can see that that is just ever so slightly starting to clip. It's putting out 17.2 volts RMS. So, and if we go ahead and turn this down and go back to 40 hertz, we can see what that looks like as we go up also. Let me resize this one because she's not happy. Alright, too much. Okay, so there's our 40 hertz. And then we're just going to go ahead and roll the gain up on the input. And I'm just starting to clip there. About 20 volts via 20 volts AC out via RMS. So this one is looking good. I'm going to turn it down. And I'm just going to really jump through these channels once again, just to make sure that everything is copacetic with this, right? So 40 hertz looks good. Hertz look good. Now I'm wondering why on this channel here am I so attenuated. Oh, I see why. My gain volume is way down, so that is why that was so low. We'll just set it up there like that. And you just kind of go through and just make sure everything looks good. That's really about it. And now we're back on channel 1. All right, everything looked good on this amplifier, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna do the same process across the board. So pink noise, right, with the RTA, and we can just see how that looks. You can change it here, or we can go even more detail if we want. I like the 1.6 to be exact. Speed, I typically go slow, just like that, and this is what you're looking for. You want a nice, fairly flat response going across. All right, so let's go ahead and get this disconnected so we can get set up on the next one. and I'll show you how I do that all just moving forward. So I'm gonna go shut off my power supply. So the first MRV-F540 seems to be working in great shape. So number 2. All right, there. RCAs, we're just gonna, remember I said those are just Ys. So we'll take these and get them plugged in. And that's just so I don't have to keep jumping around RCA cables. Power supply is back on. Gains, we're just going to set the gains to the middle on here. High pass filters, off, off. Low pass filters, off, off. Input is 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so let's go ahead and start on channel 1. And as we can see, our frequency response is good. And this is on pink noise. All right, I'm gonna go through all of the channels and then we'll move forward. So. Channel 2. Channel 3. Channel 4. So now that we're done with the pink noise, let's go ahead and go over to sine wave. Turn that down, skis. All right. And we're at 40 hertz now. So let's just move it, make sure everything looks good. All right, do the sweep. And you see how if I move that too fast, it doesn't go below. Like, I'm used to that. So. Looks good. 1000 hertz. All right, we got 1 kilohertz there. And then let's go over to the oscilloscope and let's just see what she looks like. All right, she looks good. She might be clipping a little bit there. Let me zoom in on this other one. Okay, there we go. So we can see our sine wave, see how good she looks coming up. She looks good. I don't need to clip every channel, but what I am going to do is go ahead and jump on this 1 kilohertz test tone across all these channels, see how that registers. All right, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. And then now we can go ahead and go to the 40 hertz, and we're just going to do the same difference again. I can zoom that in to make it fit better, but that's clear enough for me. I'm used to this equipment, so I'm used to seeing what it does, and we're looking for any extreme clipping or any noise, a bunch of noise. And let me show you real quick when I say noise what I'm looking at. I noticed this about my power supply, and I recommend this power supply to people, but one thing I didn't notice was how much noise it has on it. So let me go ahead and turn the power supply on and show you what noise looks like. Alright, So there's that. And then let's just go ahead and increase this gain. And we should start to see that. No, oh, it's clipping. Maybe we won't see the noise on these. Some amplifiers you could see the noise more prominent than others. And this one is doing really good at not presenting noise, so that's good. That's why I got these amplifiers. I want them to run in my truck. So they're big, they're old, they're robust, but they're super clean amplifiers. And maybe at some point you'll see in some of my other videos, I try to pull up one that I present the noise really good on here. This one is not doing it. So we're done with this one. I'm going to move on to the 2-channel, which is the MRV-T420. So let me just go ahead and get this stuff shut down, and we're good there. I'm good with this amplifier. I think it's doing good, you know. And it's just simple things you want to go through and test. Now, I can hear, let's say, channel 3, 4. I can turn on, if I wanted to check the filters, I could turn on, that was the high pass filter, right? And then if we, sorry, you guys are looking over me, but if I adjust the crossovers, you can see I bring that frequency back up around 25 at the beginning. And as I crank this down, you'll see that just gets attenuated all the way down and across. And that is what happens when you're adjusting your crossovers. You're rolling off frequencies, right? So we'll bring that one all the way back up, and then we'll go over, turn the low pass on. All right, and you see low pass, so it lets everything low pass and kills all of the highs. So I'm gonna, that's all the way down, right? So, and then if we go ahead and roll that up, you'll see those frequencies start to come back into play up to 800. I can click this. This one is 20 times, and with the low pass on 20 times wide open, you get pretty good up to about 5K or so. So if you were trying to do like a mid-range setup on that, that will work out pretty good for you. But let's go ahead and turn these all back down, and then turn those back off, and voila, smooth frequency. So shut her down, move on to the next. All right, here is the MRV-T420. This is a 2-channel. So now this has a little bit simpler of a crossover. This just has gain because it's a 2-channel, and it has a low pass and a high pass crossover, but it also has a bass boost. But let's go ahead and get the powers hooked back up. I always recommend that you turn these off, disconnect your power when when you're hooking stuff up. I cannot tell you how many times people take this remote wire and touch this negative with it and then kill the circuitry inside of an amp. It is truly sad to see how often that happens. So being that this is only a 2-channel, we're gonna scrap the Y's and go ahead and get these plugged in. All right, and channel 1, 2. All right. And then let's go here, gain. We'll set that right in the middle. All right, and bass boost all the way down. HP filter off, LP filter off, and then crossovers are all the way down. Let me go ahead and kick the power supply back on. Alrighties, so as you can see here, our pink noise, we're good on our pink noise, that looks good. I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Sine wave, drop that down, and then move that, yep, go back to 40. 40 looks good. 1000 looks good. We can do like 10K. You know, you can just go ahead and punch in any number you want to check whatever frequency you're looking at. 200, see? So, but what I like to do, as I said before, is I like to come here at the beginning and just kind of slowly work my way across. And I am paying attention to where these are spiking up. If you see a stop, they typically go up higher than when I'm just rolling across. All right. So, and I'm really checking to make sure that I'm crossing that 0 dB mark. All right, so we're good there with the oscilloscopers. Let's go pink and go back to 40 hertz. All right. You can see as I bring up the gain. Oh, there's that noise. Ha 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 ha. We found her. We found one that has noise on it. Now, this is also indicative of maybe this amplifier is time for this one to be recapped. I think I'm just going to go ahead and send these off maybe 1 or 2 at a time and have him recap these as I go through. But there's that noise I was telling you. Now, let me turn, I'm going to keep the battery switch on so that I keep power. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut the actual power supply off. And if you look at this oscilloscope over here, it's going wonkies too, huh? Sometimes when it's like that, it's just sometimes when it's like that, it's just easier to go here and turn this down. All right, and then just so that I got rid of the noise, and then we'll just hit auto and let it find itself that way. And it usually gets you fairly close. There we go. See? Pow. Close. And then now I can go ahead and I can turn that back up. And let you see what the noise looks like even on this smaller oscilloscope. All right. So you see that? You see all of this in here, all of that in there. That is noise, that's switching noise from the power supply itself. So watch this. I'm gonna shut this power supply off. You'll hear it. That's the fans kicking it off. And then there you go. No more noise there, right? So we're good there. Let's go ahead and jump over to the next channels. Ooh, that's not a good sign. When you see that happen there like such, when this one was so clean, remember, if we were over here, and so that's bridged, right? That's bridge mode, and you can see a lot of noise. That's no buenos. And then you see when I go back to channel 1, that's good. I think that channel 2 on this amplifier is bad. I can try hooking up speaker. I don't really need to. I know that there's an issue with channel 2 on this because of what I'm seeing here. Let's go to pink noise, RTA, and let's run that gain down here, and you can just see no matter what we do, it's got an issue. There's a problem with this channel, with this, and once again we'll just go ahead and swap back over to channel 1, and you'll see channel 1 is nice and flat. And look at this, you see how there's nothing showing. I have to literally turn this up to get a pink noise. Where'd she go? Yeah, I got to turn this up to show a volume, right? I'm gonna bring this down. Well, let's bring this back down, and you can barely see it down here. I'll bring it so you can barely see it down here, right? Now watch what happens when I throw this over here. It just, the switching is much higher, it's much brighter, it's much louder. Unfortunately, there's an issue with this, and like I said, we can tell primarily from the oscilloscope just at how noisy and how bad that is. If you look in here, this one is going bonkers. Man, that sucks. I mean, I'm gonna have to get it recapped anyway or something. But this is actually one that I was actually hoping to be using like kind of immediately, so I could throw my tweeters in, or separate some stuff in the truck. But all right, that's that. There's one amp so far has an issue. I bought 6 amplifiers that are roughly 20 years old. So let me go ahead and kill the power on this, and we'll jump over to the last 4 channel and see what we got going on there. All right, now this is the MRV-F340, the one that came in a box. I thought at first it was new, but I do see some marks here on the, where it was screwed down. But either or which way, it's in great shape for, you know, an amplifier of this age. Let's go ahead and get those off. All right. So for our RCAs, we're going to go back ahead and put these Ys on once again, just so I don't have to play with jumping all these around. So all right, that's that. Gain halfway. Now, I know you hear guys say, I only set my gains halfway. I don't know what my amplifier blew up. Well, I like to think I know what I'm doing, and I actually have 2 oscilloscopes here, so I can see immediately if I'm doing any clipperoonies. So just so we know, crossovers all the way down, LP filter off, HP filter off. So this one, you have this crossover suite's a little different than the first two that had a HP and an LP and two different sets. This one just has a selector for all pass, meaning no crossover, HP and LP, and then one to switch whatever frequencies you're looking for. So that's on the first two channels, 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. Same setup, and then this also has the selectable switch where, and right now we have it in this 1, 2, 3, and 4 mode. You could also run this a couple other different ways, 2-channel and 3-channel. So let's go ahead and click our power supply back on, or turn the battery back on. Alrighty. We know that light was good because we checked it earlier. So channel 1, channel 2, 3, and 4. So alrighty. And then let's come over here to pink noise, RTA. Oh, look at that. That's what we like to see right there. Yes, sir. That's what we like to see right there. Can actually come down on this, bring the sensitivity up higher. Yeah, right there should be about. Right there should be about good. And then channels 1, 2. Let's just roll the gains just to make sure everything looks good. I'm rolling the gains. If you guys can see, volume's going up on a Tuesday. Volume's going down. All right, so that's good. Let's go ahead and jump to the next channel. So actually that right there would be bridge mode. Okay. And then let's go ahead and put that on channels 2. Okay. And then sine wave. Come down and 40 hertz. Set that there. And jump quick, but just walk her down. Walk her in the frequencies down the road. So these are all class AB amps. And the reason why I really want these for like my tweeters and my mid-ranges, these things have a frequency response from 10 hertz to 50 kilohertz, okay? So this is old school, high res. A lot of the older stuff had a really wide frequency band width. Unlike some of the newest stuff, you really got to pay for that quality, which I mean back then and even now you pay for the quality of a Alpine amplifier like such. But, they did really good. So, here I am all these years later with a ton of amps behind me, and these are the ones that I just purchased to use to put in a vehicle. So pink noise. All right. Volume up. And we're just gonna blast through on these. And I can pretty much tell what's going on with these from that. So they're there. Once again, you see how that's higher? That's because I'm bridged. And then that's lower because that's regular. So it literally doubled in decibels, right? So almost to the 3 line, and then down below to like the 9-ish line because it's double in power. Quickie, sine wave, volume down. or sorry, oscilloscope. Let's go over to oscilloscope and let's get looking at this here. So frequency 40. Ooh, El Clipper Rodneys. All right, there we go. And then bring that so it looks much more better. So there's 40 hertz, and then we're just going to go to 1 kilohertz. That's 10,000. A little too much. 10K is a little too much to read on this one, but on this one here, and this is why I like these little guys, I can zoom this in so that I can actually read up that high, if I could find her. It's a little pain sometimes. And then once again, here, let's just say, oh, what is that? Low battery. That's why she's giving me a little jazz. I'll get that plugged back in, but she just shut down. But anyway, this here, the resolution on this is not enough to read that high up, but you are good to read. The 1K is even a little tough, right? I know I wear glasses, but that's kind of tough. Once you get used to it, you kind of know what it looks like. And there we are, dragging out the frequency, dragging her down, down, down. And, you know, that's 102 hertz. All right, she looks good. I would say this amplifier looks good. We go back to RTA, go back to pink noise. Bring that volume up, and let's just tickle the gain on here to make sure the gain is working good on here. Everything looks good, nothing scratchy. Once again, I'm sorry I have to lift my arm up like that for you guys, but gain down, looks good, nice and smooth. Gain up, nice and smooth. I'm not going to bring it in the clipping, or I could just go over to the oscilloscope and we could set that to sine, and we could set that to 40, and we could actually just go ahead and look for, see where clipping is actually at. All right, that's right there where she's starting to clip. And it seems about pretty fair. If this was on, I could do the mathematical equation to tell you wattage on here, like the amp dynos. You don't really need an amp dyno. As long as you have something that can read voltage RMS, you can figure out the wattage. You can do the mathematical equation. So anyway, let's go ahead and get that off of there and jump up here and do the same thing here. All right, that looks good. All right, there you go. So she's good. All right, that's that. I'm gonna break this up again once more, and I do have to do some wiring, make some leads for the 2 mono blocks up there. So we'll come back, and this will be part 3 of the Alpine extravaganza. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Look forward for the next one. If you like this stuff like this, and go ahead and drop a thumbs up. Ask any questions you have there. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Till next time, y'all. Peace.